What is up, my dudes, and that one girl who wants to hear me get a little bit louder? This is Bikes, Beards, and Brews. Let's kick that intro. Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. Before we kick this one off, make sure you like, comment, subscribe, hit that bell notification. New videos are coming weekly. Ring that bell, you know when they drop. Let's get the other stuff out of the way. Want to save 10% on a Cardo communicator or save some money on some Beyond Riders gear or on some Hogworks gear? Then you should definitely check my referral links down below. Want to support me in all my do-gooderness like these cool guys here? Boom! You should become part of the Brew Crew and join the coffee page down below. Want to know why I'm asking you for money? Well, next to that Amazon storefront affiliate link that also goes to a good cause is a link explaining what I do with your money. Get it, got it, cool, let's move on. Oh yeah, and did you know I do beard oils now? Beard oils. Make your beard look awesome. Go to BikesBeardsandBrews.com and get yours today. This stuff is great. All right, off to the video. All right, guys, so we're doing more work to the 2026 Pan America Limited today. Now, when I first bought this bike, I said, great, this is going to be my quiet bike. This is going to be the bike that my neighbors hate the least. And well, that lasted a hot minute because I swapped out the exhaust not too long ago. We'll go into detail on that one as well. That's actually kind of a fun story. But today, we're going to be adding the air cleaner to that as well, so this bike can breathe a little better while it is running and getting a whole lot noisier. So what did I get for an air cleaner? I got this Screaming Eagle air cleaner. This is the middle of the road one. There are 3 options for the Pan America. This normally comes in at $90, and there's one for like $80, and there's one for $130. This is the one I chose to go with. Again, I'm not trying to turn this bike into some insane like piss missile, so I don't need like the absolute like most high-end stuff. If I was going to do that, I would go with an open air cleaner, which would completely defeat the purpose of the ADV part of this bike. I'm not doing that. I just want it to breathe a little bit better. So why did I go with Screaming Eagle at all? Well, good question. So I am a Hog member, and part of being a Hog member is you get discounts for riding, checking into different Harley dealers, stuff like that. So when I do all these longer rides, when I stop into new Harley dealerships for the first time, I hit this little check-in button on the Harley Davidson app and I get points. Those points turn into discounts. Those discounts can be used for real Harley merch. So as I said, that's a $90 air filter. When it was all said and done, because I did the trip down to Virginia, I've bounced all around New England already. When I was breaking in the Pan America, I did that thing where I tried to see how many Harley dealerships I could hit in a day. I racked up a fair amount of points. So that air cleaner that started at $90 turned into $30, and I am totally good with that. That is yet another reason why you should definitely check out the Hog membership and maybe look into becoming one if you own a Harley. Now, does the Hog membership cost money? Yes, it's like 50 or 60 bucks for the year. Honestly, haven't paid for it. I've gotten it for free. How did I do that? Well, that ride challenge I told you about in the beginning of the year, where literally you check into one Harley dealership in the beginning of the year, verify your mileage, and then just go ride for the season. You don't even ever have to go back to a Harley dealership again for the rest of the ride season if you don't want to. Rack up 5,000 miles, go back to the Harley dealer, any of the Harley dealers at the end of the season, and you get a free Hog membership for the following year. So you're literally getting that free membership, and then that free membership turns into points where you get discounts and you can save money when buying any kind of Harley gear. If you're looking at new rain gear, if you're looking at new heated gear, if you're looking at parts for your bike, you get those discounts. So it's really worth it. In fact, this riding season is still going on, and the whole ride challenge doesn't end until October. So if you go check in now and you burn out 5,000 miles in the next few months, like if you're not a garage queen, you can still get that membership for 2027. And the other great thing about the ride challenge is every mile that you lay down converts into money that Harley is donating to different charities. And when you sign up for the Ride Challenge, you can choose which charity you want to go to. They have a whole list you can pick from, and it is a lot of great causes. So overall, everyone wins out of this. You ride more, you end up getting discounts, a charity gets some support, and we're out there building the two-wheel community. So make that happen. Now, the one thing I'm not looking forward to on doing this air filter is the Pan America is probably one of the most annoying bikes to get to the air box when it comes to Harley. As most of you know, Harley, usually the air box is right on the side of the engine. You just pull off whatever air cleaner's on there, slap on a new air cleaner, you're good to go. With the Pan America, it's actually under the gas tank, and it's not just normal like gas tank fare where you take out 2 bolts in the front, 1 bolt in the back, undo 2 lines, lift it off, and you're good to go. There's some other stuff involved, so let's get into that now. All right, so I'm not gonna go super crazy into how to remove the gas tank, just because there is a channel that does a fantastic descriptive job on YouTube that you can find, but I will go over it lightly just so you have an idea of what's going on, because, well, I'm assuming that's part of why you're here anyway. So first thing we gotta do is get the seat off. Next thing we gotta do is take these heat shields off. And these heat shields are actually interesting on my bike because I actually went through and added some rubber spacers just below the heat shields and just below this tank to actually kind of raise up everything a little bit, because the seat actually sits in little cradles that are connected to these heat shields. And when this is stock, the seat kind of leans forward and you kind of slide forward, not comfy. So I just got some very thick rubber spacers, put them in between there. It raised up the seat just a little bit, made it quite comfortable. This is actually good for me too, because I ran the Carpia ride without removing the tank, and I ran these lights without removing the tank. So once this tank is off, I can kind of get a good look under here and see if I can maybe reroute those cables and make them a little neater and cleaner than they are. Overall, I'm satisfied with where they currently are placed, but hey, any improvement is a good improvement, right? Now, there's actually 2 different ways to remove this gas tank, depending on what you want to do. You can remove these heat shields, and it removes the entire unit that this gas tank is bolted into. And from what I saw, this seems to be the easier approach than removing the bolt that the gas tank actually bolts to on this entire setup. If you're curious, these are those rubber spacers, and if you're looking to raise up your seat a little bit, if you also have a Pan America, I'll include these in the storefront on that Amazon link that's down below. If you click on that, that actually has tons of parts that I use for the Sportster, the Road Glide, and the Pan America, and it's all like in different categories, so you don't have to go through everything. It's like if you're looking for just Pan America parts, click on the Pan America, it's all there. Now, if you're unfamiliar with the Pan America, this gas tank may look absolutely huge to you. It's actually only 5.6 gallons. The reason why it looks huge is because the air box is underneath it. So it kind of straddles over the air box, and you'll see that in a moment. All right, so part of doing the wires in front is getting a good shot to them, which requires removing this nose cone. Very complex, very, very difficult and complex. Pay attention, pause it, rewind it, whatever you need to do. This is very difficult. Here we go. Voila. Yeah, so if you're unaware, there's just 4 pegs that just pushes right into and locks in. So that's it. That's all it's holding the nose cone on. With that being said, when you put it back on, make sure it is very secure. This bike is meant to go over lots of different bumps and stuff. Last thing you want is that just popping off and disappearing on you. All right, so our quick release for our fuel line is supposed to be behind this. This is also supposed to be very difficult to take off, so pay attention. Yeah, 3 more pops. And yeah, there's our fuel line. So we're just gonna disconnect that, and that part should be good. Now, fuel lines are quick release. They just have a little collar that you pull back on and they let go. And then they also have a little stopper in there, so you shouldn't have to worry about gas going everywhere. With that being said, there may be a few drops that do come out, so you do want a little towel, keep it underneath, just so you're not getting gas everywhere. And with this one, the compression collar pushes inwards. There we go, nice and clean, nice and dry. I'm gonna leave that towel down there just in case like a drop or so comes out later. All right, with this gas tank, there are some number 27 hex keys. There's one on each side that hold this down. This one is right here. It threads up and in. It's right about here. If you're going to take it off, it's like just behind the Harley logo, if you have that Harley logo. All right, so same thing, we're looking for a bolt right about here. This one is actually right here, and it's actually up and in a little bit more. So it is recessed, but it is there. This one's a little trickier because you cannot see it. It's actually like recessed that far into the frame that it's bolting into. I'm not gonna look forward to putting this one back in, let me tell you. The only good part to these bolts is they're actually self-guiding, like it's a little narrower on the top. So it'll help you kind of get them in place before you start threading them down. We'll test that when we put this all back together. So there's a line up here that's supposed to unclip. I haven't seen that just yet. I've seen lines that clamp in, so I'm not too excited about this. I'm hoping that I just missed it, so we're gonna keep looking. So the whole front end should be all set to come out now, but there is one more cable back here that needs to be unplugged before I remove the gas tank. I was told this is gonna be the most difficult one, and so far it seems like it. Needless to say as well, do this when you only have a little bit of gas or no gas in the tank. Otherwise you're heaving that whole thing and that's a pain. All right, so after all that digging, this is the air box. It is fully enclosed because again, this is an adventure bike. It's meant to keep that air filter and everything else dry when you're getting into some seriousness. So just keep that in mind. We're gonna pop this open. We're gonna see what the stock air filter is, compare it to our new one, swap them out, and put this all back together. Same size hex we've already been using, so on the bright side, you don't have to go through like your whole tool set, getting different ones to fit. All right, let's crack this open and see what's in here. It's actually not a bad looking filter, especially being that it's stock. Hold on, let's get this off. It's a pretty damn good looking filter if I do say so myself, especially for something stock and especially for a Harley. Like, not bad, Harley. Good on you. All right, let's get our new one on, shall we? See if this opens up this beast a little bit more. We'll reuse the hose clamp that's on this one. And just to give you a comparison, this is what we've got and this is what we're going to. So before I seal this back up, I'm actually going to just check some of my lines here and see if I can run neater, cleaner lines. But after that, we'll get this sealed up and back together, and we should be good. We're just gonna hold on to this as a spare, maybe just in case, who knows? Maybe this is horrible and I go back, we'll see. But yeah, again, I'm impressed. This is actually a pretty nice air filter considering. And of course, try and remember how everything went together, because you're gonna have to put it all back. And you know, you wanna make sure all the cables, all the hoses, like I've got my fuel line right here, are threaded in the same way they came out. It's just gonna make your life easier for the reassembly. All right, let's go ahead and get my spacers back under the gas tank and then get this all bolted down and ready to go. Fun story, there was a point where I thought I lost my registration, and that's because I put it in this dry box under the seat, and I'm not used to Harleys having dry boxes, so I put it under there and forgot I did that. So I spent a lot of time looking for my registration at one point. Now just be aware as well, if you do this whole spacer under the tank to raise up your seat thing, works great, but you will need longer bolts than what Harley provides, depending on how tall you go. For this particular setup that I have going on here, you will need taller ones. You can go to Home Depot, get these for like $1.50 each. Wicked easy. All right, so we got that all back together. You want to see the new exhaust? Let's check that out. That's already been installed. It's been on for a little while. I've actually probably put about 1,000 miles on this bike with that exhaust, and it sounds mean. I'm hoping the air cleaner actually makes it sound a little bit meaner, but we'll find out together. But let's check out that exhaust pipe first. So right here is my Toce exhaust pipe. And as you can see, it's a whole lot smaller than what comes with this bike. There's actually usually an engine guard that goes right here. If you got the Limited, the 2026 version, I actually had to remove that to have this pipe installed. So you guys want to hear how it sounds? Yeah, I bet you do. I would give you a before and after, but I forgot to film the before. But go to YouTube, look up any video about a sewing machine. That's the before. Let's check out the after. Way better, am I right? All right, let's get on the bike, let's take it for a ride, and let's see how it feels and how it handles. All right, we are on the Pan America and we are riding. Now, I don't know if it's just my imagination or not, but the bike does sound a little bit louder. And I don't mean the Toce pipe. I've had that on here for a little while now, and yes, that made the bike louder. However, I feel like maybe a little extra air has also lent to making the bike a bit louder. And maybe it's the fact that I have it in sport mode right now. I don't know. Either way, it sounds great. I absolutely love the way it sounds. Now, I know one of the questions will be, did I tune the bike? No, I have not. I may tune the bike, I may not. Honestly, when you put a slip-on on, you generally don't have to tune the bike afterwards. When you change the air, that's generally when you should tune the bike. However, this air cleaner only adds like 5% according to Harley. So we're not talking like stock air cleaner to like big sucker air cleaner. So it's not a huge change. So we'll see if I get a lot of decel pops, if I feel like the bike isn't running the way it should, we'll look into a tuner. Now, can I tell a huge difference in power or anything like that? Not so much, but again, the air cleaner promises like 5% horsepower increase, which for those of you who don't know, the Pan America comes with 150 horse, so we're talking about 7 horsepower. Nothing too crazy going on there. And overall, this bike just hauls to begin with. So, I mean, I'm not going to notice 7 horsepower. I'm also not going to notice it because I'm stuck behind every single Sunday driver out there, but that is a different topic. And overall, you're probably not going to hear too much of the engine sound anyway, because let's be honest, I have a fairly quiet helmet to begin with, and then these videos go through some filters to fix the audio so you can hear me a little bit better and all that fun stuff, which means it takes down some of that ambient sound that's around me. But please, take my word, this bike no longer sounds like a glorified sewing machine. And I guess the other thing is, technically, this is probably still my quietest bike because, well, the Road Glide has a big bore kit on it. It has a different head pipe on it. It has Cobra neighbor haters for the exhaust. So it is pretty damn loud. The Sportster has straight pipes on it. So overall, I think that's actually the loudest of all of my bikes, quite honestly. So let's talk the Toce pipe and how I came into possession of it. So it was really right place, right time. I had a friend that had the Toce pipe on his Pan America. He was trading in his Pan America for a Road Glide. So I was like, hey, guy, let me snag that pipe. And he's like, well, no, because I don't have my stock pipe anymore. I can't put it on the bike, and I need it to trade in. I was like, guy, I just happen to know exactly where there's a stock pipe. Let's do this. So, you know, a couple wrenches later, his bike was traded in with a stock exhaust. And my bike rolled away with a $750 Toce pipe for free. I'm not complaining. And you know who you are. Thanks again for making that happen. Much appreciated, buddy. With that being said, honestly, I originally wasn't considering getting the Toce pipe. I had heard a few videos online. I didn't mind the sound, but it didn't quite jump out at me as something I wanted to go for. But with the situation presented as it was, I figured, hey, worst case scenario, if I don't like it,
I can drop into the Pan Am communities. There's a couple of them on Facebook and other places. I can find somebody who also has an aftermarket exhaust that may just want to trade. And if they've got something that I like a little bit better and they want the Toce, nice even swap, everyone's cool. However, once I did get it on the bike, it sounds good. It sounds real good. I really dig it. So yeah, the Toce is here to stay. And let's just check real quick. Let's see if we've got some D-cell pops going on. There's a little bit. There's a little. It's not crazy, but you could definitely hear a little bit of popping. Now I know that the computer on this bike does do some stuff with the ECU. I know it's not going to fully tune itself, but it does adjust when it gets like different amounts of air coming through and whatnot. So let's see if the bike sorts itself out, and if not, like I said, I'll consider a tuner. Anyway, that's what I've got. What do you got? How do you think that Toce pipe sounded? I thought it sounded mean. Sound off in the comments down below. And don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, hit that bell notification, share this video with friends, share it with family, share it with that one dude you know who's got a wicked quiet Pan America and he's looking for some options. Here you go, bro. Loves this stuff, trust me. See y'all on the flip side.